And we welcome you to Langhorse Field on the campus of Elmhurst College as we bring you Elmhurst LaCrosse. This afternoon, the 4-1 Blue Jays take on the 0-4 Olivet College Comets. And for the player introductions, let's go now to Kevin Jude, the public address announcer, as he will announce the players and the starting lineups for this afternoon's game.
Now, here are today's starting lineups. First for the Comets of Olivet. Starting in goal, number 5, Jake Steele. Defenseman for the Comets, number 8, Dalton Miner. Number 22, Latrell Louie. And number 26, Cullen Heisler. Midfielders for the Comets, number 2, Cameron Bazin. Number 9, Connor Ham. And number 23, Joshua Brantley. At attack for Olivet, number 4, Casey Peterson. Number 24, Kobe Robinson. And number 55, Justin Lamb. The Comets are coached by Matt Holtz. And now the starting lineups for your Elmhurst College Blue Jays. Starting in goal, number 8, Jake Delgado. Defenseman for Elmhurst, number 9, Quinn Stokes. Number 31, Eric Langston. And number 33, C.J. Galante. At the midfield for the Blue Jays, number 10, Trent Nyberg. Number 12, Carter Meyer. And number 18, Dan Curley. At attack, Elmhurst, number 2, Mac Harden. Number 11, Ty Funderburk. And number 26, Andrew Freerich. The Blue Jays are coached by Mark Morrell, assisted by Nick Bonastia, Tyler Hall, and Garrett Rosiak.
So there you have the starting lineups as we are just about ready to get set. 41 degrees here at Langhorse Field. A bit of a breeze out of the northeast, about 10 to 12 miles an hour. 41 degrees and 3 days away from the first official day of spring, but yet Mother Nature reminding us that it is still winter. Woke up to some snow flurries this morning, but that's cleared off, and we've got a sunny, beautiful day here at Elmhurst. Opening face-off, getting ready here. Carter Meyer is the face-off man for the Blue Jays. And for Olivet, it's Joshua Brantley. And the opening face-off is eventually picked up by the Blue Jays. Carter Meyer, by the way, won 18 of 20 face-offs in that big win against Adrian College. Talk more about that ball game, when Elmhurst won at Adrian 27-3 on March 10th. So they're coming off of a huge win. Whole bunch of school records in that ball game. We'll get to that when we get an opportunity here. Dan O'Connell with the ball now as he veers off to his left. Now makes a move. Only 12 players dressed for the Comets here this afternoon. Check that, 13. There's the shot, and it's going to be a goal here for Andrew Freerich for Elmhurst. So the first possession of the game for Elmhurst, and it results in a goal by Andrew Freerich. Andrew Freerich, his 6th goal of the season. Freerich is a 5'8 freshman from Arvada, Colorado. Puts the Blue Jays on the board 1-0 here. Just under a minute into the opening quarter. On the men's side in lacrosse, they play 4 15-minute quarters. On the women's side in college lacrosse, they play 2 30-minute halves. Quite the opposite in college basketball, where the women play 4 10-minute quarters and the men play 2 20-minute halves. So another face-off win for the Blue Jays, and they get the ball here again. Mac Harden up top, and a shot on goal by Carter Meyer is wide to the left, but the Blue Jays will retain possession. Andrew Freerich will restart it behind the cage. The Blue Jays are averaging nearly 14 goals per game. The Comets just 4. So you're going to have to wonder where the offense is going to come from the Comets, because this Blue Jays team can put up some points. We talked about their win 27-3 off of Adrian. Before that, 10-9 win over Benedictine in overtime That one was in Lisle. They also won 12-9 against Concordia, Wisconsin. Those last 3 wins for the Blue Jays were all on the road. That one fires off, and now into the front court here for the Comets, if you will. It's going to be Kobe Robinson, and he will inbound it. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays 4-1. Their only loss here at Langhorse Field. So they're 0-1 here at home. That was back on February 21st against the Spartans of Aurora University. You may have logged on to BlueJayTV.com for that game. The Blue Jays played awful tough against the Spartans. This ball is loose, and the ground ball picked up by Andrew Lentz of Elmhurst. The Blue Jays actually led by 2 in the fourth quarter to the Spartans, but AU with 3 unanswered goals. There's a shot on goal by Freerich, and another goal. So Andrew Freerich with the first 2 goals of the game for the Blue Jays, and it's 2-0. So Andrew Freerich with goals number 6 and now goals number 7 on the season. And it's an early 2-0 lead for the Blue Jays. Olivet coming off of a 16-5 loss in Rock Island to Augustana. Andrew Lentz got the assist, by the way, on that one. The Comets, I mentioned, coming off of that 16-5 loss to Augustana in Rock Island. The Comets' first goal of the game in that contest was in the third quarter, so they were shut out the entire first half against Augustana. So if the Blue Jays can have a similar start in the first half here today, and they lead it by a couple of goals by Andrew Freerich. 2-0. Blue Jays looking for more. That shot on goal by Carter Meyer. So the Comets have yet to get an offensive possession here yet. Shot on goal that time, Ty Funderburk. And what a season Ty has had. Back of the cage here, Mac Harden gets it out top, Marcus Yandall. Marcus will bring it up. This is Jake Heil. Pass it off to Jake Cameron. 2 Jakes in goal, by the way. Jake Delgado, and they're both freshmen. Jake Delgado, freshman goal for the Blue Jays out of Parker, Colorado. He is 2-0 this year. Jake Steele, freshman out of Howell, Michigan. He is in goal for the Comets. Marcus Yandall making the move, getting checked. Now Yandall fires sidearm, and he gets it to go. Marcus Yandall, 6-foot freshman from San Diego, California, gives the Blue Jays a 3-0 lead. So all 3 goals coming by freshmen here this afternoon. This one coming at the 10:58 mark of the opening quarter. And it's 3-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. So they are picking up right where they left off in that big win at Adrian, where they scored 27 goals. Off to a 3-0 lead here, and the Blue Jays are going to, well, the ball is still on the ground. And it's picked up by the Blue Jays, so they win another face-off. That was picked up by Carter Meyer. Ball on the ground in the crease area there. Now it gets pushed back behind the cage, and picking up is Mac Harden. Harden fires to a streaking Funderburk. His shot is saved by Steele. Steele gives it up now to Connor Ham as the Comets trying to get on the offensive attack. Brantley, and he loses it, but the ground ball is picked up by Bazin. Cameron Bazin, and we got a whistle and a turnover here. It'll be Blue Jay Blue Jay ball. Getting used to basketball. By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. Blue Jays leading 3-0 if you just logged on to BlueJayTV.com. And we got a whistle here and a push against the Comets, so it will be Blue Jays ball here. 9:55 remaining here in this first quarter. Tell you a little bit about the shot clock. On the women's lacrosse side, it is a 90-second shot clock. But on the men's side, there is a 30-second shot clock that will come into play only when the officials think that the offensive team is not attacking or trying to score a goal. In other words, they're trying to run out the clock. If the officials think that's the case, they will tell the official score to start the 30-second shot clock. It doesn't happen very often. As a matter of fact, that season home opener against Aurora, I don't think the 30-shot clock came into effect at all. Olivet trying to clear it. The ball is loose on the ground, and it's going to be picked up there finally by Quinn Stokes, just a couple of feet outside the cage for the Blue Jays. Head coach Mark Morrell of the Blue Jays, he's happy to see his Blue Jays off to this good start. Here, another shot on goal, that one by Jake Heil, and the save by Steele. As I mentioned, Mark Morrell in his sixth season. Last year, the Blue Jays went 8-9, made a third straight trip to the CCIW Conference Tournament. Mark Morrell played 4 years at Wittenberg, also coached at Wittenberg. High stretch and the catch there by Andrew Freerich. Heil backs out, and the Blue Jays will set up the offense here. Shot on goal is good by Mac Hardin, and Mac Hardin gives the Blue Jays a 4-0 advantage. For Mac Hardin, that's his 15th goal of the season. He is the second leading scorer on this Blue Jays team. Ty Funderburk has 17 goals. Mac Hardin is the all-time points leader here at Elmhurst College. He's also the all-time leader in assists, now with 39 assists. So he is having a tremendous year. He was the CCIW Player of the Week the very first week of the season, as we've got a timeout taken here by the Comets and Matt Holtz. Matt Holtz in his third season as the head coach of the Comets. So the Blue Jays, as I mentioned, coming into this game with a record of 4-1, and they really could be 5-0 on the season. They let a 2-goal fourth quarter lead slip against Aurora University. Give a lot of credit to the Spartans of AU. They won 18 games last year, well on their way to winning 18-plus games this year. So the Blue Jays' only loss coming to an established lacrosse program, and Coach Morrell is on his way to bring the Blue Jays to that next level. In that win for the Blue Jays against Adrian, where they won 27-3. Ty Funderburk had 13 points in that game. He had 6 goals and 7 assists. That is a school record for most points in a game. Andrew Freerich, he had 11 points in that game. He had 5 goals and 6 assists. He broke the school record. The previous record for most points in the game before that was 10. And Freerich picking his game up where he left off against Adrian. He scored the first 2 goals here this afternoon. Marcus Yandall with a goal, and you just saw Mac Hardin score a goal as well. Mac Hardin, by the way, as I mentioned, CCIW Player of the Week in the first week of the season. Ty Funderburk, he was the CCIW Player of the Week for the third week of the season. So 2 different Blue Jays with CCIW Player of the Week honors so far this year. And Ty Funderburk with that 13-point effort against Adrian College, looking to become the CCIW Player of the Week for the second straight week, if he can come up with a good game here this afternoon. Well, that face-off won by the Comets. It was Cullen Hessler coming up with it. Hessler now under some pressure, getting checked, and he stepped out of bounds. So turning the ball over to the Blue Jays. Well, now the Blue Jays put it on the ground, and sprinting toward the ball, Noah Monahan, he picks up the ground ball. Passes to Meyer. Turnover, picked off. Kobe Robinson now with the ball for the Comets. 4-0 Blue Jays. Good start to this one. 7:25 remaining here in the first quarter. Mark Kruger delighted to bring you Blue Jay LaCrosse from Langhorst Field in Elmhurst. Sun-drenched afternoon, although it is rather cool, 40 degrees, and that ball picked up by C.J. Galante. Cleared by Elmhurst. Sprinting for the ball was Mac Hardin. Good effort by him, but the Blue Jays are going to turn the ball over here. Blue Jays were 10 of 12 on clearing attempts in that win against Adrian College. The Comets, part of that Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, the MIAA, and of course the Blue Jays out of the tough CCIW. Ball here on the near side is Galante. They work it around. There's a shot on goal, and that one is good by Andrew Lentz. So the midfielder, the sophomore. And the lead is now 5-0 Blue Jays.
Elmhurst goal. Scored by number 1, Andrew Lentz. Assisted by number 2, Mac Hardin.
Mac Hardin is going to get credit for the assist on that goal. So for Andrew Lentz, that is his third goal of the season. Lentz is a 5'10 sophomore from Walnut Creek, California. And the Blue Jays continue to add to their lead. And on this face-off here, ball on the ground and scooped up. He had it once, now he loses it. That was Joshua Brantley, and the Blue Jays come up with it. So ultimately the Blue Jays win that face-off. That shot a little too high there by Mac Hardin. Blue Jays retain possession, however. Coming up from behind the cage, shooting is Andrew Freerich, and Freerich has the hat trick already. Boy, he came up from behind the cage, and no one was there defensively for the Comets, and he came up into the crease, took the shot, and he scores his third goal of the game for Freerich. 8th goal of the season for him. And it is now 6-0 Blue Jays with a little over 6 minutes to go here in the opening quarter. And again, the result of these goals coming from the Blue Jays winning these face-offs. Another face-off, and this one is again going to be won by the Blue Jays, scooped up by Noah Monahan. Blue Jays again on the attack. Mac Hardin dropped it. Now there's a loose ball. Hardin battling for it, and coming up and scooping it up is Andrew Freerich. Freerich having a great game so far here this afternoon for the Blue Jays. Up top, here's Hardin. Hardin takes the shot, and it's off to the right. Blue Jays will retain possession, though. Getting it now, Freerich from behind the cage. He throws it up to Heil. Jake will bring it up top here. This is Yandal. And again, the Comets do not have a lot of depth. Shot on goal there by Dan O'Connell, and the save by Jake Steele. Here come the Comets. Comets do not have a shot on goal so far, I believe. Bazin is a leading scorer. He's got the ball right now. He's got 11 goals on the season. Only 3 Comets have scored this season. Bazin with 11, and he loses the ball here. Lamb with 4 goals, and Casey Peterson has 1 goal, and we're going to have a couple of penalty markers go down around midfield. The shot on goal by Hardin is no good. So see what the penalty markers are all about. And it looks like this one is going to go against Cameron Bazin, number 2 for the Comets. Bazin comes walking off the field here. Wondering what he did. It's a 1-minute penalty. So it'll be a man-up situation here for the Blue Jays. 1-minute penalty for Bazin. 4:36 remaining here in the opening quarter. It's been all Blue Jays. So a one-man advantage here for Elmhurst. Funderburk at the point. Whips it over here to the near side. Yandall, number 6, has it. Back to Funderburk. And a loose ball is going to be picked up behind the cage by O'Connell. Still Blue Jays ball, and this one is nearly picked off. Ball is loose. Still on the ground. And this one is going to be picked up by Yandall. Blue Jays getting all the loose balls here. Funderburk. His pass intended for O'Connell, and the Blue Jays turn it over on that possession. O'Connell, I think, a little upset with himself, thinking he should have caught that pass. 6-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. And by the way, if you're wondering, the lowest defensive output so far for the Blue Jays, they held, well, their lowest, their best defensive output was the loss against Aurora University, where they gave up 8 goals. And that shot is good. A goal by Eric Langston. Comes at the 3:25 mark. Penalty was over at that point, so it was both teams at full strength. It was not a man-up goal. But Eric Langston picking up the goal nevertheless, and it is now 7-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. First goal of the season for Eric Langston. He is a 6-foot junior from Friendswood, Texas. Getting the goal here, and the Blue Jays leading comfortably now 7-0. Face off. Won by the Blue Jays again. Boy, they're quickly on the attack here. Ball though on the ground. And the loose ball picked up by the Blue Jays ultimately. Nice pass inside, and it's Mac Hardin scoring the goal. For Mac Hardin, it is his second goal of the game, and it is now 8-0. That goal comes at the 3:08 mark of the opening quarter, and for Mac Hardin, his 16th goal of the season. That is the 100th goal of Mac Hardin's career. And he is the all-time points leader for the Blue Jays. So congratulations to Mac Hardin, goal number 100 of his career. Spin move by Meyer. Hardin comes out from back of the cage, and the shot on goal there by Funderburk. And it's going to go to the Comets here. 2:50 remaining here in the opening quarter. On the turnover, the Blue Jays on the attack. Mac Hardin lost it just a couple feet in front of the goal, and Jake Steele picking it up for the Comets. Justin Lamb getting double teamed, and now he goes down onto the floor, onto the turf, and a penalty marker comes out. And this one is probably going to go against the Blue Jays here. Yep, push from behind there by Noah Monahan. So that is just a 30-second penalty Monahan, a 5'10 sophomore from Portland, Oregon. He'll take a knee here for 30 seconds, so a man-up situation here for the Comets. 2:21 left here in the opening quarter. By the way, congratulations to Allison Brady and the Blue Jays women lacrosse team. Couple nights ago on March 15th. Big win over Trine University. Women Blue Jays now 3-1 on the year, so congratulations to them. Great second half. They scored the final 6 goals of the game to get the win here at Langhorst Field. And the men being very dominant here this afternoon, leading 7. Check that, 8-0. I forgot about that last goal by Harden, his 100th goal of his career. It is now 8-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Freerich scooping it up. He passes off to Nyberg. Nyberg loses the ball on the ground. Funderburk, though, picking it up. Good ball movement, and the result is a goal by Mac Harden. His 3rd goal of the game. His 101st goal of his career comes with 1:33 left. Andrew Lentz got the assist. It is now 9-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. And boy, at this pace, the Blue Jays, if they keep this up, they may go for the school record for most goals in a game, which they're just coming off of that. It's 27. They tied the school record. 27 goals in a game is the record. And right now, the Blue Jays on pace to score 36. 1:29 left in the opening quarter. 9-0 Blue Jays. And I don't think that 30-second shot clock is going to come into play here this afternoon. Funderburk passes it off to Foytlin, Mike Foytlin, 5'10 junior from O'Fallon, Illinois. Funderburk with a shot on goal, saved by Steele. Nicely done by the freshman goalkeeper. Strangely, Ty Funderburk yet to score a goal here this afternoon, but other players certainly stepping it up. Ty, of course, as I mentioned earlier, 6 goals, 7 assists in the game against Adrian College. Ball loose around midfield, picked up by the Blue Jays. Harden, he takes the shot. Another save by Steele. Harden goes down to the turf, and it's going to go to the Comets. But the Comets, this whole quarter, really have not gotten set offensively. It's been all Blue Jays here today. Connor Ham walking it up. And Ham now finally passes it off to Bazin. Bazin gets checked. Works his way. Tries to work his way into the middle. Now he makes the move to the cage. Bazin takes it all the way, shoots, and a save. And that's going to end the opening quarter. First quarter dominated by the Elmhurst College Blue Jays as they lead it here at the end of 1, 9-0. 3 goals in that first quarter for Andrew Freerich. 3 goals for Mac Harden. His second goal, by the way, was his 100th of his career. Andrew Lentz had a goal. Marcus Yandall had a goal. Eric Langston had a goal as well for the Blue Jays. So they lead it comfortably here by the score of 9-0. As we get set for second quarter action here from Langhorst Field. Very happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. Mark Kruger along with our producer Glenn Liljeberg. See, the mascot, Victor E., has made his appearance here at Langhorst Field. Always good to see him. Paul Crone, the director of athletics, here as well. By the way, while we've got an opportunity, want to pass along congratulations to Michaela Eppert, the basketball player for the Elmhurst College women's team. For the second year in a row, she was named Academic All-American. And she becomes the first student athlete here at Elmhurst since Beth Cann did it in 2007 and 2008 for her work on the softball diamond. So congratulations, Michaela Eppert. Averaged nearly 18 points per game and nearly 11 rebounds per game for Tethany Carrillo's team. What a career it has been for Michaela Eppert. So certainly congratulations to her. Well, if you're wondering when the future holds for this men's lacrosse team for Elmhurst, after this one, they're going to take on Whittier on the road March 22nd. Be back home here against Beloit March 27th. That's going to be a 7:30 opening drop. The game at Whittier on March 22nd, by the way, will get started at 7 o'clock at night. If you're wondering, the first conference game for the Blue Jays will be April 7th at Carroll. That'll be a 1 o'clock face-off. Second quarter face-off won by the Blue Jays. So they are in possession here. Second quarter underway with Elmhurst leading comfortably 9-0. Harden comes out from behind the cage, gets checked, and now we're going to have a whistle. There's a flag. They play on. Ball is loose, kicked a little bit there by Funderburk. Picks it back up, but the Blue Jays are going to have a man-up advantage here. Penalty marker down, and there's the turnover, and there's the whistle and the stoppage of play. And it looks like the penalty is going to be against Cullen Hessler. Cross-check penalty against Hessler. So it'll be another man-up situation here for the Blue Jays here early on in the second quarter. And a streaking Luke Richardson, and he gets the goal here for the Blue Jays. Nice movement away from the ball as Richardson streaked to the goal, got it, and in one motion flicked it into the net. For Luke Richardson, that's his fourth goal of the year.
Assisted by number 26, Andrew Freerich.
Andrew Freerich with the assist. And so that makes it now 10-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. Luke Richardson, a freshman out of Albany, New York. Boy, Coach Morrell, he's got players from all over the country. Another face-off, and another face-off won by the Blue Jays. Carter Meyer coming out with it. Carter on the dead streak, shoots, and a save by Steele. Jake's done a nice job, the freshman. I know you may say, well, you're down 10-0, but boy, the Blue Jays have had a lot of shots on goal. Steele's made several nice saves. Ball on the ground here. And we're going to have a whistle and a push against the Blue Jays. It's going to be Comets ball here. So again, Olivet off to a slow start here. Again, they didn't score. The Comets didn't score their first goal against Augustana until the third quarter. And they are scoreless through one quarter. Now we've got another whistle here as a stick comes flying out. Turnover by the Comets, I believe, here, and a timeout taken with 13:24 remaining here in this first half. Non-conference lacrosse battle here between Elmhurst and the Comets of Olivet College. At the end of the first quarter, the Blue Jays led 9-0, and an early goal here in the second quarter by Luke Richardson of Elmhurst, and the Blue Jays lead it 10-0. By the way, I didn't mention our officials here this afternoon. The referee, Bill Russell. The umpire is Will Santee, and the field judge is Joe Perez. Officials did a thorough check of the sticks and the equipment for both teams before the start of the game, making sure the sticks are of the right length, the pockets are the right depth, so nobody gets the advantage. So again, the conference opener for Elmhurst will be on April 7th when they travel to Carroll. Should mention that the teams in the CCIW, a bit different than your normal teams in like basketball and football. The teams in the CCIW and LaCrosse, of course, Elmhurst, Carthage, Illinois Wesleyan, North Central, Dubuque, Augustana, and Carroll. And I'm sure Coach Mark Morrell is certainly looking forward to conference competition because he, along with his team, I think they feel that they can compete for a conference championship. And a loose ball and a turnover by Lentz. Andrew Lentz coming up with it as he passes ahead. Dan Curley couldn't quite get a handle on it, but now he picks up the ground ball. Curley fires it into the middle to Galante. He loses it. Lentz picks it up. 2, and the goal is Mac Harden, the assist by Andrew Lentz. There is a penalty marker down. So we'll see what it's all about here. I think the goal is going to be good. It's going to be a slashing penalty. It is a goal by Harden to make it 11-0. Lentz got the assist. The penalty is going to be on Ian Bishop of the Comets. Bishop is a freshman from Jackson, Michigan. So the goal is good. It is now 11-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. And another face-off controlled by Elmhurst. Funderburk holding at the top. Ty surveying the situation, and now he's going to drift off to the right. Now passes it back to the left to Harden. Funderburk steps up. He takes the shot, blocked, scoops it right back up. Nice pass from Harden to Freerich, and Freerich is going to get the goal. Give the assist to Harden. So that makes it now 12-0 Elmhurst. Harden with the assist for Freerich. That's goal number 4. And that's his 9th goal of the season. So it is now 12-0 in favor of Elmhurst. And there's still a little over 12 minutes to go here in the second quarter. It's been all Blue Jays. And on paper, going into this game, you figured Elmhurst should have an opportunity for a win, but boy, they have just been absolutely dominant here so far today. It's interesting. On the season through the 4 quarters, Elmhurst has been very consistent. They've scored 17 goals in the first quarter, 18 goals in the second quarter, 16 goals in the third quarter, and 17 goals in the fourth quarter. And another penalty down. And coming off is Carter Meyer, the midfielder, the face-off man for the Blue Jays. He will take a knee. And so the Comets will have a man-up situation here. Peterson now at the point number 4, passes it off to Robinson. Bazin to Robinson. Bazin will take the shot, and it's to the left of Delgado. Comets will retain possession, and now penalty against Noah Monahan. He comes out traveling. And now coming out is Dan Curley. So Monahan and Meyer out with penalties here for the Blue Jays here. Now the two officials are going to discuss things. There's 11:27 left on the clock. Great opportunity here for the Comets to score their first goal of the game. Lamb will have it. 2 Blue Jays in the box. Here's Robinson here on the near side. 2-man advantage here for the Comets. Shot on goal by Bazin is off to the right. Back into the game, Dan Curley for the Blue Jays. Still 1-man up situation here. Monahan remains out for Elmhurst. Back of the cage, here is Lamb. Lamb makes the move, gets checked by Langston. Pass nearly picked off, but goes into the stick of Peterson. And this is going to go behind the cage and out. It will remain Comets' ball, but back into the game, and now both teams at full strength. Both penalties are over for the Blue Jays. Both teams at full strength here. 10:35 left to play here in the second quarter. It's been all Blue Jays. 12-0 lead. And I guess the story of the goal now for the Blue Jays, another turnover, Blue Jays come up with it, is can they get, boy, I hate to say this, but can they get the school record, which is 27 goals in a game, and can they get a shutout here? Those are tall tasks, I know, but something to shoot for if you're a Blue Jays fan. Picking it up, Andrew Lentz, and he lost it. Ball is loose on the ground. It's going to be picked up by Bazin of the Comets. Here comes Olivet on the attack. Bazin shoots, and a little dribbler off to the right. It's going to go out. Comets retain possession here. 9:40 to go. Behind the cage, there is Lamb. Cameron Bazin works it over here to the near side to Robinson. Back up to Bazin. Playing a little catch. Brantley now jogs behind the cage. Brantley getting checked by Lentz. Nothing there. Brantley brings it up top. Here's Peterson. And the Comets cannot find an opening in that Blue Jays defense. Bazin makes the move. Goes down to the ground, loses the ball, no whistle. Picked up by Elmhurst. And that's going to be picked up by Quinn Stokes. Stokes tosses it over the head of Andrew Lentz, but right into the hands there of Dan Curley. Curley now getting a better angle, passes it to Trent Nyberg, and Trent Nyberg gets the goal. Nice assist by Curley. Comes at the 8:40 mark of the second quarter. It is now 13-0. For Trent Nyberg, that is his 4th goal of the season. So everybody getting into the scoring column here this afternoon. Trent Nyberg, another freshman, 6'4" freshman from Carlsbad, California. So this is a young team that Mark Morrell is putting together, and boy, they are off to a great start this season. They hold on here for this win. They'll go to 5-1, and really, they should have had an opportunity to be 6-0. Really, they can win here today. Of course, the tough one loss here to Aurora University, losing by 1. Blue Jays working it in back of the cage. Up top now, Funderburk. Shot off to the right. Mac Harden will scoop it up behind the cage. Mac works his way, now stops, spins, shoots, hits the left pole. And here comes the Comets. Robinson cradling for Olivet. 8 minutes remaining here in this first half. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way, from all of us here at Elmhurst College. Brantley on the move, poked away from behind by Jake Cameron, and a loose ball, and the Blue Jays are on the attack. Good defense by Cameron. Shot on goal there by Eric Langston, looking for his second goal of the game, but it goes wide to the left. Funderburk, and now we got a whistle and a timeout taken here by Mark Morrell and the Blue Jays. They take a timeout here with 7:25 remaining here in the first half, and the Blue Jays lead it by a score of 13-0. Elmhurst led at the end of the first quarter 9-0. 3 goals here in this second quarter, one by Luke Richardson, another by Mac Harden, and the third goal of the quarter coming by Andrew Freerich. For Andrew, that's his 4th goal of the season. And late in the first quarter, Mac Harden scored his 100th career goal. Congratulations to Mac Harden, who was the CCIW Player of the Week for the very first week of the season. As I mentioned, the Blue Jays, their only loss on February 21st, but they came back and won 3 straight games on the road. February 28th at Concordia of Wisconsin, they won 12-9 in that ball game, and they were actually trailing by 3 goals in the fourth quarter. Came back to win that ball game. And, of course, the game at Benedictine won in overtime. Dan Curley was the hero in that game. He scored the goal with 11 seconds left in that overtime period against Benedictine to win 10-9. And, of course, we talked about the big win against Adrian on the road, 27-3. So the sign of a good team and a good program is playing well and winning on the road. And that's exactly what the Blue Jays have done so far on this young season. Their only loss of the season, again, coming here at Langhorst Field against a very good Aurora University program. All right, here we go. After the timeout, the Blue Jays with possession, leading comfortably here this afternoon. Looking for their 5th win of the season. Freerich fires it over to Jake Heil, and his sidearm shot no good. Mac Harden will play it from behind the cage, give it out front to Heil. Jake up top to Yandall. And the Blue Jays are going to be patient, working it around the perimeter on this possession. Funderburk coming out from behind the cage, passes it to Heil. Heil's shot is in. So Jake Heil now in the scoring column for the Blue Jays. His 4th goal of the season comes with 6:39 left to play here in the second quarter.
Elmhurst goal scorer number 3, Jake Heil, assisted by number 11, Ty Funderburk.
Ty Funderburk will get credit for the assist, and that makes it 14-0 in favor of the Blue Jays. You looked up at the scoreboard, you think this was a football score, but this is LaCrosse, and it's 14-0. And again, the Blue Jays are on pace for a record game here, looking for the most points in a game for the school, which is 27. Penalty marker down. Bazin with the ball, lets it fly, saved nicely by Delgado, and that's going to stop the play on the change of possession, and officials talking things over, and this one is going to be on Elmhurst. Holding against, well, looks like it's going to be number 27. Dan O'Connell is going to come over, and a 30-second penalty. He's going to talk with coach, and he'll take a knee here for 30 seconds. So a man-up situation here for the Comets as they are looking for their first goal of the game. Ball down on the ground. Picked up by the Blue Jays. Good job by number 33, C.J. Galante, coming up with that ground ball. And another penalty flag is down as Harden makes the move. Passes it behind the cage to Funderburk. And now here's a stoppage of play. And we'll hear from the officials, and we'll see what this one's all about. This one is going to be against Olivet. It's going to be Colby Robinson with the penalty. Dan O'Connell still on his knee for Elmhurst. Pushing foul against Colby Robinson. He's a freshman, 6'1" freshman from Barrie, Ontario. So both teams a man down here with 5:43 remaining here in this second quarter. Blue Jays with the comfortable lead here. Here's Harden. Funderburk passes around, the shot and the goal by Marcus Yandall. Second goal of the game for Marcus. Man-up situation here, and the Blue Jays take advantage. 5:17 left to play here in the first half. Ty Funderburk is going to get the assist, another assist for him, and it is now 15-0. Other teams in the CCIW coming out with hot starts to the season. Carthage is 6-1. Illinois Wesleyan 4-2. North Central 3-2. Of course, these Blue Jays 4-1. And if they win here this afternoon, they'll improve to 5-1 on the season. And the Blue Jays are going to turn this ball over here to the Comets with exactly 5 minutes remaining here in this first half. Well, if nothing else, it'll give an opportunity for Mark Morrell to get a lot of players into this game to see what he can do. It'll be interesting to see how long he leaves his starters out there in the second half. Checking, and now another penalty flag comes flying down. Probably going to be a push against the Blue Jays here. Ball down. Ball is still loose and picked up by the Blue Jays, and there's the whistle and the stoppage of play here. Quinn Stokes kind of tosses his stick, so he will be guilty of the penalty. He'll take a knee here with 4:32 remaining here in this first half. Stokes, a 6'5" sophomore from Aurora, Colorado. Big kid, 6'5", 205. Only a sophomore. Kind of guy you want out there as a defenseman. So off the restart here, the Comets with a man-up situation. Over here to the near side is Robinson. Working it in the back of the cage is Lamb. To the far side of Bazin. Bazin jogs it up to the top. Now passes it to Peterson at the point. Bazin got cut off. Makes his move again. Shoots wide to the right. Goes off of Lamb. It will stay in possession of the Comets. 4 minutes remaining here in this second quarter. Shot by Bazin and the save by Delgado. Ball scooped up by Robinson. Ball is loose and a push, and it's going to go to the Blue Jays on the turnover. So now it's the Blue Jays on the attack. The point is Harden. And he'll back it out, set it up. Pass it off to Lentz. Coming up is Heil at the point. Now he's got the ball right now, number 3. Dan O'Donnell, 27, jogs in. He's got the ball. And they'll work it in the back of the cage here to Funderburk. Blue Jays being very patient here offensively. Jake Heil, again, the 30-second shot clock has yet to come into play here this afternoon. Didn't think it would be a factor. Heil on the move. Got cut off, works it to Funderburk. Ty coming out to get a better angle. Passes and the score by Marcus Yandall. Another assist by Funderburk. Comes at the 2:41 mark of the second quarter. So the second time in a row, Yandall gets the goal, and the second time in a row, Funderburk gets the assist. It's now 16-0. Yandall with his third goal of the game. And his 7th goal of the season. 2:41 remaining. So the Blue Jays putting up some goals here again, coming off of a 27-goal performance against Adrian, and now they've got 16 goals here against Olivet, and there's still 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in the half. Another face-off won by the Blue Jays here. Carter Meyer done a great job with the face-offs here today. Funderburk lost it, scooped it up. Meyer has it stolen from behind, and it is picked up by Ham. A rare turnover for the Blue Jays here. 2 minutes left to play here in the first half. Blue Jays have played an outstanding first half of this game, and a steal and a turnover, and the shot is good by Eric Langston. Eric Langston's second goal of the game. Well, picked up the loose ball, and he just sprinted straight ahead to the cage, fired it, and it got by Steele, and it is now 17-0. Eric Langston with his second goal of the game and of the season. So it's got to be a thrill for him, a defenseman, 6 foot junior. 1:48 left to play here. And I tell you, this Blue Jays team, they've been impressive. Eric Shaw and Joshua Brantley on that faceoff, won by the Blue Jays. Funderburk now passes it off here to Shaw. Shaw shoots, and he scores. Eric Shaw, 6'5" junior, his second goal of the season.
Elmhurst goal. Scored on assist by number 23, Eric Shaw.
Unassisted goal by Shaw to make it 18-0. Again, Eric's second goal of the season. 6'5" junior from Chesterfield, Missouri. Eric back to work on the faceoff now after scoring the goal. 1:29 left to play here in this first half. 18-0. That's right. If you just logged on to BlueJayTV.com, it's been all Blue Jays here. Getting the face-off, though, the Comets. Bazin comes out with it. Bazin goes into 3 Blue Jays and loses the ball. Ball's still down on the ground, and it's picked up nicely there by James Beck of the Blue Jays. So, again, good defense. As Bazin got close to the goal, they were just swarmed up by 3 Blue Jay defenders, and they get the turnover. Here come the Blue Jays on the attack now. Under a minute to go. Losing the ball there, Cameron. The Comets come away with it. So Elmhurst turning it over. Fired up top as the Comets clear it. Ball is loose on the ground, and it's picked up by the Blue Jays. Ryan Moran getting the ground ball. Blue Jays clearing it here. This is Yandall. Cameron couldn't quite come up with it. And the Comets come away with it. Get it back to Steele. Steele launches it. We got a penalty flag coming down. And stoppage of play here with 13 seconds to go. Too many men on the field is the call. So coming off is Andrew Freerich.
So they will not have a face-off to start the second half because Olivet will have 17 seconds left on the penalty. Assuming they don't score.
So Olivet will retain possession here, and they will actually get the ball to start the third quarter as well. There will not be a face-off to start the third quarter. Bazin, he loses the ball, and it's picked up by the Blue Jays, and that's going to end the first half. And boy, what an impressive first half by the Blue Jays as they lead the Comets of Olivet College here at halftime by the score of 18-0. And we'll be back in a couple of moments for third quarter action. Blue Jays LaCrosse on BlueJayTV.com. And welcome back to Langhorst Field. Blue Jay LaCrosse action. The men taking on the Comets of Olivet College, getting just about ready to start the third quarter. If you've just logged on to BlueJayTV.com, well, it's been all Blue Jays here this afternoon as they lead it 18-0 over the Comets here this afternoon. Andrew Freerich with 4 goals in the first half for the Blue Jays. Mac Harden also chipped in with 4 goals. Marcus Yandal with 3 first-half goals. Eric Langston with 2 goals. 1 goal apiece for Lentz, Richardson, Nyberg, Heil, and Eric Shaw. All those players getting into the scoring column. And for the second game in a row, the Comets held scoreless in the first half. They were held scoreless in the first half against Augustana. Augustana ultimately winning that game in Rock Island 16-5. So the Comets scored 5 goals in the second half against Augustana. And they're held scoreless here to start the third quarter against the Blue Jays 18-0. And I guess the Blue Jays, and that one is loose in front of the crease. Still tapped around, loose like a pinball flying up around, and it's finally controlled by the Blue Jays, Jake Cameron. Jake is going to jog around in the back of the cage. The Blue Jays are 9 goals away from tying the school record for most goals in the game, and that's 27. See if they can break that school record here today. Again, the 30-second shot clock will come into play if the officials see that the team with the ball is not attacking or not making a move towards scoring a goal. It has not come into play yet here this afternoon. It's kind of an interesting situation for the Blue Jays. You really don't want to, they're leading 18-0. They've got enough goals to win. And there's a shot on goal by Heil. And you don't want to rub it in. You don't want to embarrass your opponent by pouring on the goals. But then again, with the shot clock, you have to tell your team to play on. Play your hardest. Can't pass up scoring opportunities either. I think the Comets realize that as well. They've got the ball now, looking for their first goal of the afternoon. Bazin has the ball. He's the leading scorer for the Comets. He's got 11 goals coming into this game. Only Comets in double figures. He jogs in the back of the cage, now comes here to the near side. Curling around, now to the middle, shoots, and the save by Delgado. Jake has had a great game in the cage, and now Bazin is down right around the 20-yard line, if you will. So the leading scorer for the Comets is down. Now he's up on his feet. The trainer for the Comets is coming out there to make sure that he's okay. And Cameron walking under his own power. Looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him. And hopefully he'll be okay. Cameron is a 6'1" senior from Troy, Michigan. And so he will come out. Dalton Miner, number 8, comes into the game for the Comets. Malik Woods, number 10, into the game as well. He comes in for Ian Bishop. Bazin whips his helmet against the bench, and he's sitting down, and hopefully he'll be okay and back into the game for the Comets. Cameron and the Blue Jays now with the ball. Cameron goes behind the cage. Passes out up top here to O'Connell. O'Connell gets checked by Miner. Up top here to Heil. Working it behind the cage. Cameron, nothing there. And that shot and the goal by Mike Foytlin. 5'10 junior from O'Fallon High School. And it is now 19-0. The goal coming at the 11:40 mark of this third quarter. For Foynton, his first goal of the season. And so now the Blue Jays are 8 goals away from tying the school record for most goals in a game. Face off here at 11:40 to go here in the third quarter. Ball down on the ground, scooped up by Carter Meyer. And he drops it, picks it right back up. Carter flips it over to Lentz. And they work it behind the cage now to Richardson. Richardson with the first half goal. Who will score the 20th goal of the game here for the Blue Jays? Out here to the near side is Freerich. He has 4 goals all in the first half. Blue Jays concentrating on passing around the perimeter. And this is a tough decision for the officials to make here. They know that the drive by Heil, and now he comes to the middle, shoots and scores. Jake Heil getting his second goal of the game, and that makes it now 20-0. Heil's goal coming with 10:39 left to play here in the third quarter. Jake Heil, a 5'10 sophomore out of San Diego, California. And the Blue Jays are up 27 goals away from tying the school record. So Eric Shaw and Joshua Brantley, the face-off here. Shaw, gets hit hard. Ball is loose on the field, and there's the whistle. Boy, Eric Shaw just got double-teamed and got drilled. And he comes up and looks like he is going to be okay. Kobe Robinson comes off the field. He will have the penalty, and Eric Shaw comes out, and I think he just got shaken up, and boy, hopefully he'll be okay as he's going to sit down on the bench and collect his thoughts. Hopefully he'll be okay. The penalty on Kobe Robinson. So a man up here for the Blue Jays. Elmhurst will improve to 5-1 on this season. And boy, they are, again, having a tremendous year. Last year finished one game under 500, 8-9. There's a shot on goal by Heil, and that's off. Freerich will have it and start from behind the cage again. Good crisp ball movement here. Yandal at the point. He's got it now, number 6, and he thought about firing it. And it's going to be Heil who takes the shot wide to the right once again. And again, it's Freerich from behind the cage. Comes up, passes up top. Yandal, he'll take the shot, and again, that one is wide to the right. .9:30 to go here in the third. As I was mentioning, tough for the officials here. You see the Blue Jays, and they're in no hurry to run or try to attack, and so technically the officials can start the 30-second shot clock if they find that there's no movement. But boy, at this point of the game, you just wonder if they're going to put that 30-second shot clock into play. but that's up to the officials. Right now, they have yet to start the 30-second shot clock, and of course, the Blue Jays are going to be in no hurry here. Over here to the near side is O'Connell, and they work it in the back of the cage to Richardson. Lentz curling around, stops, makes the pass, and that shot is saved. Shot by Cambrin. Ball is loose, and the putback is good. And the goal is going to be by Luke Richardson, his second goal of the game. Luke Richardson got the deflection, and his putback from about 2 feet away makes it 21-0. Unassisted goal at the 8:17 mark of the third quarter. And so now the Blue Jays are 6 goals away from tying the school record for most goals in a game. But I think more important than there's a timeout here on the field, I think more important for that for Mark Morrell is if they could preserve the shutout here. I think that's more important for him. Boy, that would be something if they could hold the Comets from scoring here this afternoon. Jake Delgado has done a great job in goal, a number of saves, the freshman from Parker, Colorado. As a matter of fact, both of these goalies, both freshmen. Jake Steele, a freshman from Howell, Michigan, the goalkeeper for the Comets. Jake Delgado, freshman from Parker, Colorado, for the Blue Jays. And boy, talk about college basketball and the NCAA tournament, March Madness. Did you check your brackets this morning? A number 16 knocking off a number 1 for the first time in the NCAA tournament history. The University of Maryland, Baltimore County. How about that? The number 16 seed knocking off number 1 Virginia yesterday. Not only winning, but winning convincingly. And, well, fortunately I have Villanova to win it all. So I did have Virginia going to the Final Four, so my bracket is shot, as I'm sure a lot of people's brackets. Virginia, boy, they were a great team, but getting knocked off by the number 16th seed, University of Maryland, Baltimore County, better known for their chess team than they are for their basketball team. They pull off the Cinderella upsets so far in the NCAA tournament. Great tournament that's going to be for the rest of March and into early April. So after the timeout here, we got a face-off. 8:17 remaining here in the third. If you've just logged on to BlueJayTV.com, see the score 21-0 in favor of Elmhurst. And again, another face-off won by the Blue Jays. Back of the cage here is Richardson. I would have loved to have heard what Mark Morrell told his team during that timeout. Leading by 21. Freerich to the far side now as they work it around. Over here now, this is Lentz. Back of the cage goes Freerich. Nothing there for Foytlin. Ball is loose. Right around midfield, is scooped up and picked up by O'Connell of the Blue Jays. Coming up on the 7-minute mark of this third quarter, Blue Jays with the lead. Get a non-conference battle here. The Blue Jays out of the CCIW. Meanwhile, Olivet out of the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association, the MIAA. And a high pass over the head of O'Connell. The Blue Jays will turn it over here. Coming out of the game now is Foytlin. Coming in is number 21, James Beck. freshman defenseman is Beck out of Corona, California. Bazin, good to see him back in. He came up slowly off the turf a couple of moments ago. He passes it off there to Lamb. Back now to Bazin. Bazin couldn't control it. And scooping up the loose ball is Beck for the Blue Jays. Beck cradling that ball, stick out. Here's Shaw at the point. Shaw passes it off to Cameron. So they work it behind the cage. Freerich jogs it up. Now passes it to Heil. Jake getting instructions from the Blue Jays sideline. Again, the Blue Jays working it around the perimeter. Richardson passes it off. Cameron. Lentz. Richardson behind the cage. And again, the Blue Jays in no hurry here. Very patient, and the Comets, they just seem spent defensively. They're not going to come out. Shaw getting checked, and he'll back it out. Lentz now making the move. Lentz shoots. The save by Steele, and Steele making a beautiful save for the Comets. Coming up on the 5-minute mark of this third quarter, Lentz comes out of the game. Back in is James Beck for defense. Beck coming up on Bazin. Bazin passes it off to Bishop. Here's Bishop. He gets checked. Ball comes out. Ball is still on the ground, and it's going to be scooped up by Lentz. Or check that. That's Heil. Heil comes up with it. Heil clears it. This is Shaw. Coming into the game, Foytland. Oh, Richardson couldn't quite handle it in the back there, and the Blue Jays going to turn it over. Clock continuing to move, those 4:25 left to play here in the quarter. And again, the shutout is still within reach, and the school record for most goals in a game is within reach. The Blue Jays are 6 goals away from tying the record, 7 goals for having the record. There's a shot on goal there by Freerich, and it's saved by Steele. Cameron in the back of the cage. So it has been over 4 minutes since the Blue Jays have scored a goal. Richardson scored the goal at the 8:17 mark of this third quarter. We are now at the 3:40 mark. Of course, the Blue Jays haven't really been attacking offensively here the last couple of moments as well. As O'Connell now jogging in the back of the cage, going to the far side now. As the Blue Jays working it around the perimeter. In no hurry. O'Connell makes the move, got cut off by Bazin, and O'Connell passed it and hit the back of the cage. Steele comes up with a loose ball. So the Blue Jays turn it over here. Steele looking for an outlet. Now he gets it to Latrell Louis, number 22. Back to Steele. Steele, the goalkeeper, comes up, looking to make the pass, and now he does to a streaking Lamb who got hit from behind, and there's the flag. Foul is going to be on Ryan Moran, the defenseman, 5'10 freshman from Eagan, Minnesota. He'll take a knee here. Holding is the official call. 30-second penalty. So a man up here for the Comets. Again, Olivet looking for its first victory of the season. They come in 0-4 with losses to Concordia of Wisconsin, Baldwin Wallace, Oberlin of Ohio, and Augustana. The Vikings in Rock Island, they lost 16-5 back on March 10th, 1 week ago. Here's Bazin at the point. Nothing there, so he'll bring it out. Resurvey the Blue Jay defense. And both teams now at full strength. The penalty is over. Ooh, an opportunity there for Bishop as he was in the crease, but he didn't come up with the ball. And now the Blue Jays trying to get it. Ball down on the turf. And it's going to be Blue Jays ball. So a great opportunity there for the Comets. Had a man-up situation, but couldn't get a shot. So the shutout remains intact for the Blue Jays. 1:46 to go here in the third. Richardson coming out from behind the cage. Richardson's going to give it up at the point. This is Shaw. Lentz in the back now. This is Freerich. Again, the Blue Jays just working it around the perimeter. You know they're running the clock. And again, if the officials think that they're stalling, that they will start the 30-second shot clock, but that has not happened yet. And I think that's a good piece of officiating, as that shot by Mike Foytland, he was about to let it go, and it kind of slipped out of the webbing of his stick there. Then the Comets come away with it now. 42 seconds remaining here in the quarter. Ball is jarred to the turf, and it's still down, and picking it up is going to be Hessler. Heisler, excuse me. Peterson now with the ball. Clock down to 20 seconds to go in the quarter. Peterson goes to the back of the cage. KC comes out here to the near side. Now he makes his move to the cage. Ball goes loose behind the cage now. It's going to be picked up by C.J. Galante of the Blue Jays. And C.J. will just let the third quarter wind down, as that is the end of the third. Blue Jays leading it by a score of 21-0. So the shutout, again, remaining intact here for the Blue Jays. Richardson getting a goal in the third quarter. Jake Heil getting a goal. Mike Foytland getting a goal as well. And so the Blue Jays will head into the fourth quarter leading 21-0. Biggest margin of victory this season for Elmhurst was the last game at Adrian. The margin of victory was 24. They won 27-3. And they lead here 21-0 at the end of 3 against Olivet. So we'll see how Mark Morrell decides to play it here in this fourth quarter. A lot of people getting action so far. Jake Delgado has been in goal all game here for the Blue Jays. The 5'8" freshman getting some good varsity experience here today. Looking ahead, the conference opener for the Blue Jays will be April 7th. They'll be on the road to take on Carroll. That will be a 1 o'clock start. Their conference home opener will be on April 11th when they will take on Dubuque. 7:30 will be the start of that ball game. Yes, Dubuque in the CCIW for LaCrosse. The teams in the CCIW again for LaCrosse: Carthage, Elmhurst, Illinois Wesleyan, North Central, Dubuque, Augustana, and Carroll. Fourth quarter face-off underway. It was controlled by the Blue Jays. Ball was on the ground. Now it's scooped up by Cambrin. 21-0 Blue Jays to start the fourth quarter. Again, Elmhurst 6 goals away from tying the school record for most goals in a game. I'm not sure if they're interested in obtaining that record, but I think more importantly, they want to get the shutout. O'Connell loses it out of bounds, and the Blue Jays turn it over here at the start of the fourth quarter. Here come the Comets in red. Blue Jays in the home white uniforms. Shot by Bazin is good, but there's a flag, and they're going to call the goal is good. So Bazin is going to get the goal for Olivet, and that breaks the shutout. So that's going to be the 12th goal of the season for Cameron Bazin. And we'll see what the flag is all about here. The official threw the flag just as the ball went into the net, indicating that the goal is good. Offsetting penalties, perhaps, here? Officials are still talking things over here. The goal is good. We know that by Cameron Bazin. Unassisted goal for Bazin. Again, his 12th goal of the year. Leading scorer for the Comets. Now, coming off here is Casey Peterson is, well, having a knee is Dan O'Connell. So it looks like the penalty against O'Connell for the Blue Jays. So a man up here for the Comets. Face off. Still on the ground and still not picked up. And we're going to have a whistle and a push, and it's going to be Comets ball here. I'm going to check that. It's going to be Blue Jays ball. Push against the Comets. So 21-1. The Blue Jays will not get the shutout. The goal by Cameron Bazin early on here in this fourth quarter. Richardson passes it off to Yandall. Yandall working now behind the cage as he's guarded by Peterson. Yandall working. Boy, if I'm Mark Morrell, I'm going to just hold this ball as long as he can. Let the officials put the 30-second shot clock into play. And Yandall, after running around the perimeter, is going to pass it off to Andrew Lentz. And Yandall is going to jog off. As the Blue Jays continue to work it around the perimeter, Mike Feuchtlin comes into the game, number 17. He's got the ball right now at the point. Passes it off to Lentz. Again, Elmhurst just working it around the perimeter. The Comets are packing it in defensively, so it's fairly easy passing for the Blue Jays, just passing it around the perimeter. And they've got the commanding lead, so really no rush for them. Behind the cage now goes Richardson. Pass to the middle, intended for Freerich. Goes onto the ground. It's scooped up by Lentz. Back of the cage here is Richardson. Richardson loses it. Ball scooped up by the Comets. So the Blue Jays turn the ball over. Great start to this game. Andrew Freerich scored the first 2 goals of the game. Marcus Yandall then scored, and Mac Harden scored, and before you knew it, it was 4-0. Blue Jays just about halfway through the first quarter, and it's been all Elmhurst here today. Congratulations to Mac Harden. He scored his 100th career goal back in the first quarter. He is the all-time leading scorer here at Elmhurst. Cameron passes it off, and the shot and the goal by Andrew Freerich, his 5th goal of the game. So Freerich with the 5 goals. He now has 10 goals on the season, and it's 22-1 in favor of the Blue Jays. 5 goals away from tying the school record. We still have over 11 minutes to play, so they still have a shot at it. But again, the way they have been kind of conservative on the offensive end, Mark Morrell just wants the clock to run down. It's going to be tough for the Blue Jays to get to the 27 goals, although you never know. Coming out, here's Peterson with the ball, gets checked. Peterson now double team, flips it over his shoulder, tried to get it to Robinson. Ball is loose on the field, and now scooped up by the Blue Jays. That's free. Check that. That's number 20. That's Noah Monahan. Whistle and a penalty against. Oh, I thought it was against the Comets, but coming up and making the shot is Bazin, trying for his second goal. Shot and the save by Delgado. Now back of the cage is Lamb. Boy, Delgado coming up big on that play. Bazin has the ball, and on the restart, he will jog it towards the top. Coming up on the 10-minute mark, Bazin with the shot and the save by Delgado, and he saves it. Another great save by Jake Delgado. Passes it off to Galante. 22-1 in favor of Elmhurst. Clear there by Robinson. And the Blue Jays going to work it around the perimeter. Into the game is Garrett Weaver, number 5 for the Blue Jays, a 6'3" freshman from Temperance, Michigan. So Coach Morrell getting some new faces in there. Get some experience. Weaver with the ball, now back up top. Foytlin passes it off. Shaw. Eric makes the move. Gets pushed out. Richardson coming out from behind the cage. Weaver gets checked in the back. Now ball is on the turf. And the loose ball is picked up by the Comets. Coming up with it here is Hessler. And he loses it. Hessler, I should say. I always say Hessler. Sorry, Cullen. But the Comets turn the ball over. Delgado, the goalkeeper, gives it up to Shaw. Just under 9 minutes remaining here in this one. And it's going to be Cameron working it to Richardson from behind. Back up to Cameron. And again, the Blue Jays in no hurry. O'Connell. And it's picked off. Nice defensive play by Connor Ham. But the ball is loose, and Shaw picks it up. So the Comets turn the ball right back over. Shaw passes it ahead to Cameron. And at the point here is Shaw again. Passes it to Yandal. Behind the cage to Richardson. Coming up on the 8-minute mark of this one. Elmhurst will improve to 5-1 on the season. And again, that one loss, a 1-point loss, 8-7, here at Langhorse Field against Aurora University. A game in which the Blue Jays were up by 2 in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, the Comets still looking for their first win of the season. They will drop to 0-5 after today. Talked about Coach Mark Morrell and this program bumping it up to the next level, and I'm not so sure they're at the next level right now. I think they are. Here's Richardson. But again, it's going to be a tough conference schedule, and Coach Morrell certainly looking forward to the challenge of those CCIW games. And again, it all starts at Carroll on April 7th, the conference opener for the Blue Jays. Mike Foytlin comes in. He's going to give it to Andrew Lentz coming into the game. as we are at the 7-minute mark. Blue Jays going to just Freerich is going to pass it off. This is Shaw. Foytland makes the move. Shoots, and the save by Steele. Ball comes out, and Foytland is going to pick it up. Ooh, on the move. Lentz fell down, got back up. I'll check that was Cameron. Richardson fires, and the goal by Luke Richardson. So Luke Richardson picks up his third goal of the game. It comes at the 6:19 mark of the fourth quarter. Boy, he really wound up and put a lot of velocity on that shot. Richardson now with 3 goals. In the game, he's got 6 goals on the year. And that makes it 23-1. Luke Richardson, 5'11" freshman. Albany, New York. Give the assist to Andrew Freerich. And now the face-off here with 6:19 remaining. From Langhorst Field in Elmhurst, Illinois, my name is Mark Kruger, delighted to bring you Blue Jay LaCrosse. BlueJayTV.com, we thank you so much for logging on and letting us be a part of your St. Patrick's Day. Hope everyone's enjoying their St. Patty's Day. Shaw off to the right. Freerich now jogs behind the cage. O'Connell has the ball now. He's guarded by Lamb. And O'Connell is now going to work from behind the net. O'Connell wants someone to help him a little bit. Now he's going to make the move. Gets cut off. Throws it back up top. Coming out here to Shaw. Shaw makes the move. Oh, nothing there, and he's going to circle back out. There's the shot on goal by O'Connell, and that's wide. It'll be Comets ball here with 5 minutes remaining here in this one. Well, if the Blue Jays can come out of this game with just giving up 1 goal, I think they'll take it. Great job by Jake Delgado in goal. Ball now on the ground, and it's scooped up by James Beck as Justin Lamb turning the ball over for the Comets. He was triple teamed. Into the crease. Oh, nice pass. Cameron couldn't hold on to it. Ball on the turf. Still loose, battling for it. Now we've got the whistle and a stoppage of play, and foul is going to be against the, well, whose ball is it? It looks like it's going to be, all right, it's Blue Jays ball, so there's a push against the Comets. 4:20 remaining here in this one. Well, a well-played game for Mark Morrell and his Blue Jays, and didn't turn the ball over too much. It was a well-played game in that respect. A lot of people getting into the scoring column. Pass into the front, knocked off the leg of Freerich. It remains Blue Jays ball. Richardson coming out now, passing to Foytland. He loses it, but the ball picked up by Shaw. Shaw brings it to the far side, Yandal. And they work it behind the cage here, Cameron. Three and a half minutes remaining in this non-conference game. Yandal. Pass. Oh, and a beautiful pass from Yandal to Jake Cameron in one motion. Catches it and shoots, and he scores. So the goal by Jake Cameron, his 4th goal of the season, and that makes it 24-1. Good pass and a nice shot by Jake Cameron. All in one motion. And that makes it 24-1. And, well, the Blue Jays are 3 goals away from tying the school record for most goals in a game. And there's still over 3:20 to go. Out of the face-off, Shaw comes away with it. Well, now he lost it, and it's picked up by the Comets. Boy, it looked like Shaw was going to make a move, but lost it. And the Comets will retain possession. Bazin will work it from behind the cage. Under 3 minutes remaining here in this one. It's been all Blue Jays. Bazin looking for his second goal of the game. Boy, you go back to the win at Adrian, and the last 2 games, the Blue Jays now have scored a total of 51 goals, 27 against Adrian, and now they've got 24 here against Olivet. Timeout taken here with 2:31 left. So the last 2 games combined for the Blue Jays, they have scored 51 goals. Wow. They'll be on the road at Whittier, the Blue Jays will, on March 22nd. That will be a 7 o'clock start. And the next home game here for the Blue Jays will be March 27th when they take on Beloit. That is a 7:30 start for that one. Again, congratulations to the Elmhurst women's lacrosse team, head coach Allison Brady. The Blue Jays with a nice win against Trine a couple nights ago to improve to 3-1 on the season. The Blue Jays will be at Hanover tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock start. For the women Blue Jays, so both the men and the women off to good starts in lacrosse. We thank you once again for logging on to BlueJayTV.com with Glenn Liljeberg, our executive producer. My name is Mark Kruger, delighted to bring you all the action here. Blue Jays lacrosse from Langhorst Field in Elmhurst. It has been all Blue Jays. Mark Morrell, the head coach, now in his 6th season, doing a great job with this program. They're going to knock off the Comets here at 2:31 left. 24-1 is your score right now. So it'll be Comets ball after the timeout here. It'll be Casey Peterson with the restart here, and we are back in action. Peterson behind the cage. He's guarded by Monahan. Peterson gets shoved to the ground. No call. And it's scooped up by Delgado. Delgado gives it off to Foytland. Foytland now into the front court, into the front field, if you will, for the Blue Jays. Back behind the cage, they work it. 2 minutes remaining here in this one. Cameron gives it back to Richardson. Richardson now jogging to the far side of the field. Now he's going to retreat and come back. Going to pass it off to Yandall. Marcus, he goes behind the cage now, guarded by Bazin. Minute and a half remaining here in this one. O'Connell now coming out from behind the cage. Well, now he's going to retreat and come back. Well, now they are going to start the 30-second shot clock. So for the first time this afternoon, the shot clock comes into play. And it comes with a little over a minute to go in the game. The Blue Jays in no hurry And they trying to run as much clock as they can, and now the officials say, well, we have to get the 30-second shot clock into play because you're not doing anything with the ball. Shot clock now down to 7, and I'm not sure if the Blue Jays will even take the shot. Yeah, they're just going to give up the 30-second shot clock, and it expires. 40 seconds remaining in the game. It'll be Comets ball. Back into the game now is James Beck, number 21 for the Blue Jays. So Comets ball here. Final seconds will be winding down here. What an effort. On paper, it was a game that the Blue Jays should have won, but you still have to go out there and perform and execute. And that's exactly what the Blue Jays did this afternoon. All ends of the game, offensively, defensively, good goalkeeping. And the Blue Jays are going to come away with an impressive victory. And I tell you what, if you're the rest of the teams in the CCIW, you're looking up at these scores that the Blue Jays are putting up, you're going to turn some eyes here. Jake Delgado, the goalkeeper, holding it behind the cage. Now he gives it up to Shaw. Final seconds winding down, and your final score here from Langhorst Field is going to be 24-1. The Blue Jays get the victory. Elmhurst now 5-1 on the year. The Comets of Olivet fall to 0-5. So for Glenn Liljeberg, Mark Kruger saying so long from Langhorst Field. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. The Blue Jays, again, come away with the victory, 24-1. Thank you so much for logging on to BlueJayTV.com. We'll see you down the road. So long, everybody.